How's everyone doing? Today I have a Blu-ray update with 10 pickups. And if you've seen any of these movies, definitely let me know what you think of them. And all of this came to $10, $1 a piece for new releases in here. Some Disney, Marvel, and now it was a great deal. Let me just preface this by saying it wasn't actually $10 up front. That's what it ended up being after I sold the codes. I got this from a seller who I've been purchasing from for a while. They will often have like lots, and they'll have a pre-fixed price on them. And I'm definitely not gonna squabble because there's doubles and things I might already have because the price is great. This was actually $40 up front for these 10 movies. And again, new releases, some very popular ones. Again, Disney, Marvel, any kind of superhero one like that will always be a good thing to pick up and will be good to trade or resale. But so yeah, it was $40 for these 10, and then I ended up selling the codes for 30, which I thought was amazing. And so it was essentially $10 for these 10 movies, so $1 a piece. This definitely beats the Dollar Tree choices that they got. First up off the bat, two Blu-ray copies of Captain Marvel. If anybody wants to do a trade or is willing to purchase one of these, let me know. I already have a copy, so that's 3 for me. Same thing with the next one coming up too. 2 copies of Beach Bum. I already have a copy. But back to Captain Marvel. I was trying to take this for face value. A lot of people were reading into it and calling it a social justice warrior movie and stuff like that. Calm down and all that. I can, if you dig too much into movies, you can make a case for any kind of theory for that, something, or for anything really. But I was just taking for face value. I thought the effects were good. I like the supporting cast a lot. I'm not a big fan of Brie Larson in this role. I don't want to get involved in the politics and what she's talking about and things like that, but I did really enjoy her in Short Term 12, which is by far my favorite thing that she's been involved with. To me, I just didn't think she was a good fit for this role. She was just, I don't know, kind of emotionless. It just seemed not to be in the role itself. It didn't work for me. It was kind of like Jennifer Lawrence in X-Men Age of Apocalypse. She kind of felt like the same way. She didn't feel like she was really into it. But again, the effects were amazing. This looks amazing on home video. I've checked out the Blu-ray of it. I don't have the 4K. I'm not sure if I'm going to upgrade. I don't think I'm going to upgrade right now. I thought the Blu-ray looked phenomenal for it. And I don't know. Right now, I think I'm going to hold on to the Blu-ray for it. But yeah, I thought it was enjoyable for what it was. A lot of seemed to be love it or hate it, no middle ground. For me, I was in the middle for it. Again, my biggest criticism was her. I just didn't think she was great in that role. Next up is Beach Bum, which this is written and directed by Harmony Korine, who wrote the movie Kids. He did Gummo. He's done tons of stuff. And I haven't seen Spring Breakers yet. I want to see Spring Breakers. I've heard great things about that. But I heard a lot of great things about this, and I thought this was hugely disappointing. Probably one of the most pointless movies I've ever seen. And I think it's actually also pretty funny / interesting that on the cover right here, you have all the different people involved in the film, all up the top, their names, and then all pictured right there, except for one person, Jonah Hill, who was in the movie a fair amount and is, I would say, at this point, more famous than some of the people on there. So I thought it was kind of surprising to see that he wasn't listed up there at the top or pictured there. But yeah, Zac Efron is in here, Martin Lawrence. I was surprised to see him. Martin Lawrence is Captain Whack. Snoop Dogg, Jimmy Buffett, Isla Fisher. Wasn't she the Stage 5 clinger chick from the Wedding Crashers? I'll find you. That's what I always think of her as. But yeah, the new comedy from Harmony Korine. Obviously, this was supposed to be kind of like a stoner comedy, but I just didn't really... I didn't really find that many comedic moments in there. I don't think I laughed once in the whole movie. It just seemed kind of blah to me. It just fell flat, and I hated the final scene. I don't want to give too much away, but there comes a point. I get what the message was. So just enjoy life. It doesn't matter. But if you're burning $50 million because you're an idiot, you accidentally lit it on fire. I don't think smoking a joint is gonna fix that or alleviate the fact that you just did that and just laugh it off. I can't get through to that message right there. And the character Matthew McConaughey plays, the title character, or the main character rather, who is a beach bum. His name is Moondog. He was apparently a writer, great poet and writer, but all of the poetry and writing that he says in here and recites in here, it's just terrible. It's absurd, just insipid. And then they show him, talking and reading poetry to people, and somehow people think he's a genius. He gets a Pulitzer Prize, and just, it's so absurd to me because the character is just a stoner idiot, and I don't really see any comedic elements here. Martin Lawrence I guess it could have been kind of funny with Martin Lawrence's character. I thought he was the most entertaining segment. I like Zac Efron. I think he's actually a really talented actor, so it was good to see him in here too. But he was one of the few people that was able to break out of his younger, was it High School Musical, I think he did, and all those kind of roles. So he broke out of that. He's done some darker roles, obviously, playing Ted Bundy. And but yeah, I just thought this was terrible. Pointless watch. A lot of people seem to like it. I've liked some of Harmony Korine's stuff. I haven't seen Spring Breakers, but yeah, I mean, he's done some stuff that I have enjoyed, but this was not one of them. And I just there's a lot of hype around this movie, and I was really disappointed in it. Again, I thought it was going to be a stoner comedy. I thought it was going to have a lot of stupid moments, but it was just all stupid moments with no real comedy, and just falls flat for me. And maybe Jonah Hill wanted to distance himself from this. That's why he wasn't on there. I don't know. But next up is The Haunting of Sharon Tate, which I actually did enjoy this one. I was surprised by how much I enjoyed it. I feel like they just kind of glossed over I wanted a little bit more detail. I felt like they had a great concept here, and I just wanted more from it, but I still enjoyed it. Basically, Sharon Tate and people she stayed with, and then of course the Manson family and the murders that happens. I've heard the story. I don't think I never researched it, but I didn't know some of the other people who were there, and it kind of tells from their perspective, and basically them fighting off the Manson family and trying to survive. And there's a certain thing that is said, and it's repeated towards the end of the movie, conversation between her and can't remember the other guy's name, is Jay something, who is her good friend in here, who I think apparently she used to date. But apparently, according to this, again, I don't know for sure, but they say that Sharon Tate had a premonition that she was going to be murdered where she was as like a getaway house, vacation kind of house. She was pregnant. Her husband at the time, Roman Polanski, was finishing editing a movie, I guess, and he didn't come back, and then she had passed, obviously. But I like that they did something new with this, and I feel like it's kind of hard to do something new with a case like this, but I actually enjoyed what they did with it, but I wish they would have gone a little bit more detail with it. But still, I was surprised by it, so that was a good thing. And then next up are some Mill Creek titles. I really love what Mill Creek is doing with their retro slipcover, VHS slipcover line. You got the white VHS, the yellow, the green right there, and then the red. I dig it, and this is all the 90s. I love the 90s line, but I think that's really cool. I feel like Mill Creek is really listening to their fans, their collectors, their buyers, physical media fans, and we appreciate slipcovers. The majority of us do. I feel like now the main people who are buying Blu-Rays do. And especially the VHS slipcovers. Again, it brings me back to my childhood when I was a kid. I grew up in the VHS era, and video rental stores, mom and pop rental stores. I remember going to Captain Home Video, Joe's Video, Easy Video, and just looking at all the VHS covers, especially horror. The horror VHS covers, just being enthralled. I wasn't allowed to check them out, but sometimes I would sneak downstairs late at night when my parents were sleeping and watch horror movies. That was like one of the big things that got me into it, though, seeing the artwork on the VHS covers. But first up is Pauly Shore, Jury Duty. I haven't seen this one in a while, but I remember being super cheesy fun. And I remember he did like an Army movie right after this too, in the Army or something to that effect. But yeah, I just remember it being ridiculous. And this was kind of like the height of his kind of career. Encino Man, Son-in-Law. I'd like to see Son-in-Law get a release like this too. But he was good during this time. This was like stoner comedy. Biodome too. Biodome was probably my favorite of the bunch. But that was, to me, entertaining stoner comedy with his. I feel like every character he did was like that. But I'm looking forward to revisiting it. Excess Baggage. I ended up actually getting a review copy of this myself, and watched it. I remember seeing this when I was younger. It's been a long time. Alicia Silverstone, really enjoyed her in this role. Of course, Clueless really propelled her, and then the Aerosmith music videos. But I really liked the movie Crush. I thought that was really good, and I think this was one of her better roles too. Benicio del Toro, I felt, was miscast majorly. He's a really like low talker, makes me think of like Seinfeld, and he looks like he's like 40, and he talks like he's 80. And I think I looked up his age because I was so curious. She was 21 during the filming, and he was 30, but he looked so much older to me. And another thing too, I like it's a different cover in the artwork right there, which I'll go ahead and show you jury duty too. But which is actually the back on there for that. But again, I dig that they use different artwork underneath. But yeah, for this one, it was shot in Washington State, and I like that you can see different aspects of that. And they have the 90s soundtrack here, which I really enjoyed the soundtrack, but a lot of it didn't fit with the scenes that they were in, the songs. So that was a little gripe of mine. But again, I like the little Please Be Kind Rewind stickers, but Alicia Silverstone was great. She's trying to get the attention from her father, who's rich, and he kind of like, she plans this fake kidnapping, and Benicio del Toro steals the car while she's in the trunk, and just hijinks from there. Christopher Walken's in here too. I thought the movie was really good overall, but I just felt like Benicio del Toro was miscast. I think he kind of found his own niche now. I remember Wave the Gun, I remember seeing that in the theaters, but Traffic, and then Sicario, amazing in Sicario, both of the Sicarios, but I didn't care for him in this role. Double Team with Dennis Rodman, Jean-Claude Van Damme, and Mickey Rourke. You have to go in with an open mind and expect just super cheesy, ridiculous 90s action, because that's what this is. The one-liners, I feel like they could have taken advantage of it more and done even more sillier, goofier, ridiculous stuff. There's a scene with a tiger, which, how did that tiger not get hurt in some of those scenes? I don't know. But Dennis Rodman was crazy, ridiculous. There's at the credits, there's a part where he's singing a song, at least parts of a song, which was crazy to me. I feel like he could have been in more stuff. It actually looked like he was doing some of his own stunts there. And the best part of this movie easily is Jean-Claude Van Damme doing some of the stunts. He did this thing like in the doorway, you know, kind of climbing the doorway and putting his legs up super high and doing crazy stuff. I was like, jeez, like, to be able to do those kind of things is just incredible and crazy to me. But then the fight scenes with Mickey Rourke, I feel like Mickey Rourke too, he's ripped, he's shredded. You know, obviously he works out a ton, but he looks so much older, I feel like, in the face. So I feel like it didn't quite work as well. Maybe a few years prior it would have been better as a more believable villain who could fight with Jean-Claude Van Damme. Like, he's in great shape, but he just looks like he's so much older. But Jean-Claude Van Damme doing the stunts, that's by far the best part of the movie. He's trying to get his wife back, who is pregnant, getting ready to have the baby. Mickey Rourke is the villain, steals them, and it's a showdown. And there's kind of a backstory going on too with, you know, spies and espionage and stuff. But teams up with Dennis Rodman, craziness going on. Dennis Rodman has so many different hair colors in here. Opportunity Knocks with Dana Carvey. I love the Chicago backdrop here. I thought this one was cheesy, fun. Kind of like the height of Dana Carvey being really popular. Make me think of like SNL and all that. But looking forward to revisiting this one. And then Anaconda, I love the heck out of this. Eric Stoltz in here. I wish they would release The Fly 2 on Blu-ray. But special effects, little crazy in here. But you got Jon Voight, Ice Cube, Jennifer Lopez. I remember loving the heck out of that one. Can't wait to revisit this with the Blu-ray DVD combo pack. But there you go. Those are the 10 pickups for $10, $1 a piece for some of these goodies right here. Captain Marvel, Beach Bum, new releases. Even though I didn't like Beach Bum, let me know if you want to do some trades or want to purchase that, you know. But there you go. Again, it was $40 initially. After I sold the codes for $30, it was $10, $1 a piece. I thought that was a pretty amazing deal. Let me know if you've seen these movies, what you think of them, which one is your favorite, and what do you think? Was this a great deal? Let me know. Leave me those comments down below. Hope everyone's doing well. Take care.